In just a few hours, the International Olympic Committee will elect a new president. 7 candidates are in the running to replace Thomas Bach. Andy Richardson reports from Costa Navarino in Greece, where the election will take place.
The clock is ticking on Thomas Bach's time as president of the International Olympic Committee. After 12 years in charge, the German is stepping down. 7 candidates are bidding for one of sport's most influential roles. What sort of a responsibility is it being IOC president? How big a job is it?
It is big because what it stands for is bigger than anything else that I've ever known. Bigger than any religion, bigger than any other organization.
I admire you guys very much for the capacity sometimes some of the media to predict what the result will be. I really don't know.
More than 100 Olympic Committee members are meeting in Greece to choose only the 10th president in the 131-year history of the modern Games. The voting committee is a truly eclectic bunch containing sports stars, billionaire businessmen, members of royal families, even an Oscar-winning actress, and more than one round of voting may be needed. The candidate with the least support will be knocked out, and the voting will carry on until somebody emerges with an absolute majority.
I like competition.
Zimbabwe's Kirsty Coventry is considered Bach's preferred successor. If she wins, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist would be the first woman and the first African to hold the job.
She's been positioned in certain jobs that have allowed her to flourish, that have given her a platform. And it's certainly true that a foundational policy of Thomas Bach's presidency has been gender equality.
Seb, how are you feeling?
How do you feel?
How are you feeling? I'm still here. The head of World Athletics and double Olympic champion Sebastian is also in the running, as is Prince Faisal Al Hussein of Jordan, who says one of his ambitions is to take the Summer Games to Africa. What is the key message from you that you hope has hit home with the voters?
Inclusion, I think, is very, very critical, but the most important for me is integrity. We have to rebuild the trust. We have to rebuild, as a global institution, people's belief in what we're doing.
The race to lead a multi-billion-dollar organisation that looks after one of the most watched sporting events is nearing the finish line.
Well, let's cross live to Andy Richardson now. Andy, it seems Kirsty Coventry is Bach's favourite to take his job, but is she the leading contender in this election?
She's certainly seen as being the succession candidate, if you like. Worth bearing in mind that the vote, which will take place later on, just over 100 members of the IOC committee, 76 of them have been brought in under the reign of Thomas Bach. So will they feel a sense of loyalty to the present president and vote the way he is quietly pushing them towards? Also, gender parity has been a key theme under his reign. We've seen that on the track in the Paris Games, where we had a pretty much even split between male and female competitors. We're also seeing that within the IOC as well. The IOC committee now in the high 40% in terms of female representation, so maybe that will play in Kirsty Coventry's favour. The history books, though, tell you that white European males tend to do rather well in this contest. 8 of the 9 presidents have come from that continent. Juan Samaranch emerging perhaps as a key rival. If the name sounds familiar, it's because his dad ran the IOC for more than 20 years. One of his last acts as IOC president in 2001 was to bring his son into the IOC committee. So he has had a good couple of decades of networking within this committee, and he is very well placed to become the new IOC president.
So Andy, whoever wins will have a lot to dive into right away, won't they?
They do. The Winter Games coming up in Italy next year, the first big date in their diary, and then they have to make the decision about the destination of the 2036 Summer Games. Perhaps a chance to take the Olympics into new territory. Under Bach, it's been a fairly conservative number of choices. We've had Paris, we've got LA coming up, and Australia, Brisbane as well. Perhaps a chance to take the Games into India, into the Middle East, where Qatar have had a number of bids in the past. Indonesia also interested. So a lot to think of for the new president, but crucially, it's about giving the athletes the best possible chance to put on a sporting spectacle that the world still wants to watch.
Andy Richardson, live from Costa Navarino in Greece. Thank you very much for that.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.